Bruce Lee reshaped martial arts by prioritizing adaptability and efficiency, believing that these qualities were vital for any true fighter. In a time when martial arts schools emphasized rigid forms and set techniques, Lee challenged tradition by creating his own philosophy, Jeet Kune Do, or the way of the intercepting fist. This philosophy encouraged flexibility and rejected unnecessary movements, focusing instead on what was practical, direct, and effective in combat. Through his groundbreaking approach, Lee redefined the art of fighting, showing that the mind and body must be prepared to adapt to any situation. The concept of adaptability, be like water. One of Lee's most famous sayings was, "Be like water." He believed that a martial artist must adapt to the moment, just as water takes the shape of its container. This idea of fluidity meant that in combat, a fighter shouldn't be tied to any specific style or technique, but should be able to adjust instantly to the opponent's moves. In Lee's approach, adaptability required the constant practice of various techniques, enabling a fighter to switch between styles, stances, and rhythms depending on what the situation demanded. He trained in multiple martial arts disciplines: Wing Chun, boxing, fencing, and wrestling, and integrated these styles into his own combat approach. This allowed him to draw from a diverse toolkit, using the most effective techniques for any scenario. Lee's adaptability gave him a unique edge in fighting, allowing him to seamlessly transition from close-range combat to grappling or striking, depending on what the fight called for. Maximizing impact with minimal effort. Efficiency was another core pillar of Lee's combat philosophy. He understood that real fights are not about showmanship or elaborate moves, but about ending the conflict as quickly and effectively as possible. He developed his famous one-inch punch, a technique that delivered incredible force over a very short distance. The one-inch punch demonstrated Lee's belief in the economy of motion, achieving maximum impact with minimal movement. For Lee, efficiency also meant stripping away any fancy or flowery techniques that had no practical value in a real fight. He believed that every technique should have a purpose and that unnecessary motions wasted time and energy, which could be fatal in a fight. By eliminating what he considered non-essential, Lee was able to create a fighting style that was swift, unpredictable, and devastatingly effective. Intercepting and reading the opponent. One of the core ideas in Jeet Kune Do was the concept of interception. Lee trained to anticipate an opponent's moves and intercept them before they could fully execute their attack. This allowed him to use an opponent's energy and momentum against them, effectively